Hello.
Did you get a shock mount?
What?
Did you get a shock mount?
I did. How did you know? Could you tell?
Yes, instantly.
How did you know? That is impressive. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. How did
Because it's
Wow.
There's none of this.
Really? That was instantaneous. You're a professional podcaster now.
Oh, thank you.
I believe it.
Perfect.
I believe it.
Well, I still do stuff like this on microphones, so.
I take it back.
Ooh, so chilled.
Let's do our intro. Hi, welcome to the No
And?
Kidding Podcast. And
What?
what? I'm doing our intro.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Continue.
Hi.
Or restart.
Hi, welcome.
Restart.
Hi,
Restart.
Hi, welcome to the No Kidding Podcast. I'm Lisa.
I'm Andrew. And this is...
The No The best time of your life. Welcome.
And
Cut.
we're in.
Okay.
Is that Joe Dirt? You sent me a Joe Dirt gif.
I did. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. So, what was I going to say? We have a couple housekeeping things. Oh, what was I going to say? I was thinking about housekeeping and then...
You thought about Lemon Pledge, and then you thought about zesting, and then you thought about some zesty memes.
That's exactly how that went. Yeah. One thing led to another, and I was scrubbing the floors. Yeah. So I have nothing prepared, as usual. So whenever you're ready to start, we can start.
You didn't
Unless you
prepare
have it.
anything, Lisa?
No, I didn't. I looked for a long time, but I couldn't think of anything, interesting. I even tried for the other podcast, because I have ideas. I have tons of ideas for that one, but actually finding information for it and having it in a concise manner where you can actually present it is a lot harder than it sounds. So I got really discouraged and I didn't record last week. So I've only recorded one episode for that other podcast.
Oh my.
And that was back the first week of February. So it's been a month, basically.
Don't you
So
dare get discouraged.
I know. I feel so behind on that. And anyway.
A
That's for another
requirement for
podcast,
research
though.
is not conducive to a deadline.
Yeah. And so with this one, since it's so up in the air and there really isn't any particular topic episode, our episodes aren't this episode's about, I don't know.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
It's by design.
So I can't research something because I don't even know. Yeah. And it makes it.
That's what makes us golden.
Exactly. Because we're just all over the place. You never know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Here we are, just spewing it.
Spewing our guts.
And there you are, just listening to it.
Yee. So what's new with you?
So I'm vegan, and I'd like to tell you all about how I'm vegan. No, I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
tell me all. Oh.
I had turkey today, but I have started to trend towards more plant-based meals and stuff.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Welcome to the club.
It feels like a strong trend right now. I feel like there was a documentary that came out recently that I heard a couple things about. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just heard about it. And my doing this is totally unrelated to that. It just where I want to be. I was like, oh, best thing to do is cut out a lot of meat. So it's kind of worked out that way. But hey, let me say, kudos to all those vegans who have been complaining this whole time because there's so many options out there for us.
Yeah. I think most vegans know that now. But there didn't used to be. This is
Yeah, exactly.
because it's a trend, it's coming. Yeah, there's so many more options. And
because they've done the hard work making all the complaints at restaurants that just served salads with bacon bits on them, and they're like, no.
Right. Right, exactly. So one thing though, the thing about it is it depends on how vegan you're going to be. And I've thought about this because I actually researched this too and was thinking about it, but I honestly don't think I could ever become true vegan.
Yeah.
I think I would have to just be plant-based, try my best to eat mostly plants and eat mostly white meat because that's kind of how I eat anyway.
Yeah.
But because there's so if you look into how a vegan actually eats, You could go to a restaurant.
You make it sound
think
like
you're
it's
eating
like
vegan.
you need a diagram or something, like how a vegan eats, and they have like some special
Well,
funnel or something that comes out of their forearm and like sucks up their food.
I know, but it's true because like I know it's like zero animal products, period. So
Yeah, it's
it's
like you
like
can't even use like wax or like honey, even like you can't.
right, yeah, and you could like a lot of places you go to, they call themselves vegan because it's all plants and everything. But then a real vegan will go in there
Lies.
and say, yeah, like, well, is this what's in this sauce? Is there and then they'll start listing things in the sauce. They're like, well, yeah, that's in the sauce. Well, then it's not vegan. So I would never claim to be vegan because I probably would never go through to the extent of actually questioning everything to make sure it's vegan.
Well, also
And
like I don't know. I'm not doing it for like reasons of morality, so I don't really care to like that specificity.
right, it's more like
It,
for your health and everything.
yeah, it's just like I want to look at the nutrition information. If they're like there's a drop of egg in there, I'm not going to be like those baby chickens.
Yeah, right.
We're going to be like, oh,
I
well,
know.
it's fine.
I'm kind of like half and half because I do care about the baby chickens, but I also care about the health. But I also just, my body, I think that everybody's different. And just like, I mean, again, back to the evolution thing. If you believe in it or not, I don't, I'm okay with either. But I'm just saying, if you think back, people, if they evolved from carnivores and herbivores. So I'm sure there's some people who are more of one or the other, and their bodies process things better, as one or the other, or a mix of the two, or whatever. And I feel like if your body responds best to a more vegan diet, then that's how your body processes it better. And then there's people who need meat and process meat better, but it's not that they are bad. It's just that's how their body is, because there are people that just
Meat is murder, Lisa.
But I don't like to get in these debates with too many like hardcore people, but because I'm sure it's controversial. But I know that like our for one would be very controversial on this topic. He's very much, believes in the meat industry and
believes in the meat industry. What does that even mean? I don't know
well,
if anybody believes in the meat industry.
He believes that humans are meant to eat meat and that they can't survive a healthy life without it. And I feel like everybody's different, and some people can, and some people actually are healthier, without it, but it just depends on the person. So,
yeah.
And I just always, my whole life, I've always loved vegetables and like more plant-based and more, lighter meat options. I've just always gravitated towards that. I've never loved meat. I've never craved meat. I've never, nothing like that. So I think I just naturally gravitate towards more plant-based food, but it's not like a conscious choice. It's just what I like and what my body likes.
You like a cucumber. Who doesn't?
I do. I love a cucumber. What's your favorite vegetable?
Ooh, that's a good one. See, it's kind of a cheaty answer. It's corn, which is basically like the candy of vegetables.
Corn. Okay. Did you know that we talked about this on the last one. Never mind. Because I was like, where did I learn that? Oh yeah, we taught ourselves. The whole processing, it doesn't digest.
How is the old dog these days?
Oh, he died.
I kind of, as I said that, I was like, she's going to say he died.
Oh, he did. I feel so horrible. Like,
Aww.
I love that dog so much. I cried.
I
did. I mean, it was his time. And yeah, it actually, like the 2 days after that episode, they put him down. Yeah, I was very, very sad to hear that. But he wasn't surviving that process very well.
Yeah.
I mean, he was old. It was a hard situation for him. His parents didn't want to see him go through it any longer. So,
sounded all around undignified.
It was time. Right. But I miss him. I do. And that's kind of a downer. I'm sorry. But
I can't believe I asked that question and he actually died.
Yeah. Well, I thought about doing that we don't need to go there. A different situation with you and your pet situation, because we had a conversation about your pet, and then shortly thereafter, you had a sad instance in your life. So
How about
I was like,
that?
oh, I'm not going to bring that up. But then there you go.
It's rough. This is a rough time.
It is. It's rough. See, this is why we need to love our animals. Also, okay, let me just tell you my favorite vegetable, and then we'll move on to like another thing that just reminded me of this.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite vegetable is zucchini, which I think
Zucchini's pretty good.
Is zucchini called courgettes in England? Like the British call it a courgette,
Hey,
or is
Google,
that a cucumber?
What's a courgette?
According to Wikipedia, the zucchini or courgette is a summer squash of Mesoamerican origin, which can reach nearly 1 meter in length, but is usually harvested when still immature at about 15 to 25 centimeters. A zucchini is a thin-skinned cultivar of what in Britain and Ireland
Hey,
is
Google.
referred to as a
Thank you, Google. Thank you.
Quiet, please.
Don't ramble on about it. It was a simple yes or no. Yeah, I knew that. I actually got something right. I'm proud of myself.
How about that?
Yeah, so that's my favorite vegetable. That or carrots. I love cooked carrots.
Have you?
They're
I think we talked
delicious.
before about how I was a sandwich artist.
Yeah.
Do you know what a peppercini is?
I do. I like those. I'm good with those.
It's just a banana pepper, though.
Yeah, cut up.
Yeah, I didn't know what those were before I worked there, and people were like, "Give me some of those pepperoncinis," and I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Like, you mean these?
Also, a
banana peppers?
shocking percentage of the population refers to lettuce as salad.
Really?
Yeah, they say, "Could you put salad on it?" I'm like, "I can make you
Wow.
a salad, or I could put lettuce on your sub." I don't.
Yeah, that would be confusing, I would think, because a salad is a salad. And, like, do you want me to make your sandwich a salad, or do you want...
Yeah, because you can
That
do
would
that.
confuse me.
You can order a
Yeah.
salad at Subway.
Right, exactly. I don't know. I've never heard anybody do that.
It's a weird one.
Yes. So yay to the vegetables.
Definitely. I would say my, what would you call it? My guilty pleasure vegetable. Even though
Oh.
it's probably even more healthy than corn,
Sweet potato.
is the very expensive, very luscious asparagus.
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean that's
I would
you're
not
high
have
class
thought
if
that.
you're eating asparagus.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's how you tell if people are rich. You follow them into the bathroom and smell their pee.
What?
Yeah, if they're eating
Okay.
asparagus, they got money, man. That's like the Rolls Royce of vegetables.
So our podcast last week was all about defecation, and this week it's all about urination.
It's in and up in the bathroom, one way or the other. But hey, don't blame
Wow.
it on me. You brought up the corn first.
I did not.
Well, you brought up the thing about corn. I was just talking about corn in a very clean way.
Does it really change the way your pee smells?
Yeah, that's the whole thing about asparagus. Everybody always says
Really?
that it's like, if you eat asparagus, you can smell it. You pee. It's a thing.
I wonder if there's anything else, because I feel like there's other things that do that.
Coffee,
That
definitely.
change. Really?
Yeah,
I don't drink coffee,
Yeah.
so.
it's a thing. I'm always like, wow,
Okay.
that's it's odorous.
Okay, so you're saying your guilty pleasure, as in because it's it's a more expensive.
Oh
vegetable?
yeah, it's like I'm wearing my Rolex. I'm rolling up in my Lamborghini to Fresh Market, and I walk in there and I'm like, "Oh, I'll have the asparagus," and they're like, "Wow!" Everybody starts
Whoa.
clapping. Like,
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, that reminds me of the cutest old man that's on Instagram. If anybody hasn't checked him out, he's basically an influencer, but he's
what? Old
he's
man
an
influencer.
old man. Yes.
Is that his
and
handle?
no, I'm gonna find it so that people could check him out. But he's adorable, and he'll even like model his clothes. And he got these new pants, and he got his wife a new dress, and he's like, she'll try her dress on, like later this week or maybe next week. But here's my outfit of the day. And,
Wow.
oh, it's so cute. And but like it reminded me because one of his posts is about cooking, and I forget what he called it, but it's like a what do you call those things where there's layers and you bake it?
Casserole?
Yeah, like a casserole, but he put asparagus on top of it.
Okay.
So anyways, so I was like, well, I didn't know they were so expensive with him doing that, but let me see. Okay,
Have
his
you
name is
ever seen
Jeffrey Walk.
Jeffrey Walk? He sounds like a classy
Yes.
gentleman. Is he like
Yeah.
It was for some reason I'm picturing like the most interesting man in the world or something. Like if he's showing off his outfits and stuff, he comes in like, yes, today I'm wearing So
Well, I don't know if he always does that, but he kind of shows his life and he'll talk to the camera and stuff. But
so he's like a vlogger.
yeah, kind of, but on Instagram. So he's like an Instagram influencer. It's kind of cute because it's like you always think, oh, I'm too old to be doing that. But I think there's like this weird middle age where it's not cool to do it, but if you're old or you're young, it's cool to do it. I don't know.
Well, it's always fascinating to see somebody old who's like embracing modern like trends and technology.
Yeah, he's into it, and it's adorable, and it's very inspirational.
There's some like streamers and stuff who play like RPGs and stuff, like, and they stream on Twitch, and
oh yeah,
they're like old
That's
guys.
Cool. Neat. Yeah, I was going to talk about a streamer, but nobody would understand because I don't think they would follow him or anything. But basically,
never underestimate the random people on the internet.
That's true. Okay, so I follow this guy called the Mexican Runner. He's called TMR for short, and he used to be a huge Twitch streamer. And
sounds like a speedrunner.
He is a speedrunner. He runs mostly like older games, like retro games. And he's known for Battletoads.
Ooh,
and
that's a rough
Cuphead. One. Yeah, he did do Cuphead too.
That's
I think he's got some world records in both. And anyways, so he's this pretty big streamer, and he had like over 100,000 followers, and he was an affiliate. He was a partner of Twitch, and all of that.
Yeah.
He got. Yeah, here we go. This is the whole thing, because this week, actually I think it was yesterday, he was removed from all of that, and he's no longer a partner. He's no longer an affiliate. People can't subscribe to him. People can't donate to him or anything like that, because about, I want to say it was like 6 months ago or so, he was approached by Facebook, because Facebook is launching this streamer service. And he was I don't know, like
he got bought out.
But yeah, basically he went into a contract with them where he had to stream there, and the reason they wanted him was because they're trying to build up their presence in other countries, and for him, because he's a Spanish player, I mean, like, he knows Spanish, and so they're trying to promote him in Spanish countries, or countries that speak Spanish, I guess. So he went over there, and so he wasn't allowed to stream, based on his Facebook contract, he wasn't allowed to stream video game content on Twitch, but he was allowed to stream other things. So he was still streaming on Twitch. He was streaming like vlogs of him walking around where he's at, where he travels to, and cooking shows and stuff that he does, which is really interesting.
Okay.
And I guess Twitch didn't like the fact that he was being on both platforms, so they cut him off. And so it's really sad, because he's lost a lot of, people, followers and stuff that didn't want to transfer over to Facebook.
Yeah.
So he's having to basically rebuild from the ground up. Like, he was really popular, and now he's having to go back to his roots and start all over again and try to build an audience. And
well, I assume that's not for nothing. Like, they must have offered him something pretty good for him to
I'm not sure. I mean, I would think so, but I don't know. I think he was also just kind of wanting a change too, because he was getting toward the end of loving what he was doing on Twitch. I think he was kind of wanting to take a break from really the obsessiveness of that. So that's what he kind of was talking about, but then he's doing that now on Facebook again, but he's not being specific with a specific game or a specific structure. He just plays whatever he wants now. But
yeah.
Anyways, I highly recommend people check him out and give him support, because he really is a really good guy, and he's got a really interesting story. I've met him in person, and he's a very sweet and generous and lovely soul. So
very cool.
Yeah, he's very cool. Anyway, his name's TMR, Mexican runner.
That kind of reminds me of like what happened with Ninja and what was it, Mixer? And then he
moved.
And he was like one of the biggest streamers in the world, and he just like,
I don't know how he's doing over there though. I have never. Actually, I don't think I've ever been on Mixer ever. So
neither have I.
I actually completely forgot about it. So.
Well, it's owned by Microsoft, I guess, and they're just trying to get it off the ground and everything. But
yeah, I mean, it's good for them to try. I mean, it's kind of the way things are going. So
I guess I'm looking and it was basically it's kind of weird. There's some articles saying like he left because he felt like his brand was too big or something. I don't know.
Ninja?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know. You never know what the deals are behind the scenes though. Like maybe he made enough money where like he doesn't really have to worry about a career now and he's just kind of like figuring out where he wants to stream just for his own.
It does seem like, he's kind of just trying new things and doing his own thing and enjoying it. So
for him.
More power to him. Yeah. I'm proud of him for it.
Have you ever heard of the report of the week?
No, I don't know. Not specifically, I don't think.
It's this kid and he does reviews on YouTube and I find them utterly fascinating. Many people say he looks like a vampire or something, but he's like this kind of like pasty kid and he gets in like a really nice suit and goes out to like, and he basically does like fast food reviews.
Yes. I didn't know it was called the report of the week. I thought it was called, what does he call it? Your food review.
Yeah.
What's it called? Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, I have seen him. And
looks like he did one on the KFC chicken and donut sandwich.
Yeah, he did. That was his most recent one, I think.
Okay, 1 week ago.
What's his name? Oh, I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't watch him very often, but I just find his channel so fascinating. Like his whole concept and like.
Yeah, it's really funny because Mike and I have watched him a lot actually, and when we first started watching him, I was like, "How is this guy? How is he so, well liked and subscribed to?" And I was like, it was kind of annoying in the beginning, but the more you watch him, it's addictive. It's like, wow, this guy is actually really not entertaining, but like, yeah, it's weird. It's like you're drawn in somehow to whatever it is.
It's because he's a vampire. His eyes, they're bewitching you.
Yeah.
His whole branding and everything is all like really like retro and like weird, like vintage almost, but he's like just reviewing fast food. So it's like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really bizarre, but it's fascinating.
It's like, and he talks about it. Have you ever, like, there's some of his,
I haven't seen the behind the scenes.
Okay, so some of his videos, he'll do, like, he'll read his comments and, like, react to them. And a lot of the comments are really mean, obviously. And like, oh. He makes fun of it. Like, he's okay with it, and he's very down to earth about stuff, but it's just this weird sheltered life that it seems like he has, and he's very, like a nice kid that dresses like he's from the 1920s and lives in a house like he's in the 1920s, and he basically just goes around and reviews a bunch of fast food. He's very in-depth about his review, and he takes it very seriously.
Yeah, he's like 100% business.
Yeah, it's like...
That's why he's in the suit, I guess.
And it's funny because nobody actually watched... I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do. But at least we never did. We never really watched it for the review. Like, we didn't care about what the actual review was, or sometimes maybe if it was like a weird thing that we were like, what's that about? But mostly it's just you get drawn into his personality and the way he's talking, and yeah, he's an interesting one.
I don't know. I've started I've started drinking Starbucks water, so.
Starbucks water?
Yeah, he's always sipping on a Starbucks water because he says like the triple filtered, it's like the best water you could get like through a drive-through or whatever. He said that in one of the videos. And I was like, I'm going to try that. And yeah, you get like a Trenta water and it's like ice cold and triple filtered. It's awesome.
Is it free?
Yeah, it's just like order water.
Really? Huh. And they give it to you in a cup and everything?
Yeah, like a Trenta Starbucks cup.
I'm surprised they do that. They just give you a free cup basically.
Yeah. It's delicious.
Well, I will say one thing I've been loving lately, and I don't get it too often because I don't like to spend a lot of money, and I don't really go to Starbucks ever, but lately I've been really loving their guava white tea with lemonade. And every time I go there, it's weird because every time I go there, it's just called the guava white tea, I think. And it's a cold tea, but every time I've been, the barista will recommend it like a new way. So I'll go in, like the first time I went in, she's like, have you ever tried it with lemonade? No. The first time I went in, they were like, have you ever tried it sweetened with like some cane sugar? And I was like, no. So they sweetened it and it was so good. I was like, oh, this is the best. I'm always ordering it this way. And then I went back and then they're like, actually, if you put lemonade in it, it's even better. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll try that. And it was delicious. So then another time I went there, they're like, if you get it with green tea instead of white tea, it's even better. And I was like,
wow.
Okay. So every time I go, there's like a new addition or a new change, and it's usually better. So
what's
anyway.
behind this? Do you think they like get training for like
I don't know.
like almost like a bartender, like all the different ways they can make it? I wonder if Starbucks is like pushing them to be like suggestive as to ways that you can customize your drinks.
It's the only thing I ever order there. So I don't know. Maybe they do that with all the drinks, but yeah, they're very like serious about it too. They're like, trust me, it'll taste way better. And I was like, okay, I trust you.
I always just order like a black nitro cold brew, so I feel like they're probably like, okay,
can't really go anywhere with that.
We're not breaking into this market. So yeah, kind of similarly to this guy. Are you thinking of him as being named reviewbrah?
Yes, reviewbrah. That's the one.
His like pinned video at the top of the channel is why people call me reviewbrah ?
Okay. Yeah, so that's I think he said that in one video, was that people call him that, and that's not his real. He should call himself that. I don't know why he doesn't.
He just assumed that name.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, if anybody out there likes the report of the week, I have actually really been enjoying a new podcast called Face Jam. It's amazing. It's
Face Jam.
Yeah, it's a kind of similar theme to report of the week, but the people are more normal. So it's just fast food reviews, but it's actually a really funny podcast, and they take it very
really?
well.
Okay.
They take the review seriously, but it's a comedic podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they make fun of the fast food, or what do they do?
I mean, they just like they go over. Yeah, they kind of make fun of the marketing behind some of these things, because a lot of them are just like ridiculous. Like I think recently they did one that was they used the marketing for Sonic the Hedgehog. Like they were marketing it through Jack in the Box, and they were marketing it with tiny tacos. And they were like, what does tiny tacos have to do with Sonic and like all this stuff? And there's like all this promotional material of like Sonic standing next to a tiny taco, and it's just like,
yeah,
there's no like
they break it down. They're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Just like, well, yeah.
Yeah, they're like how did Sonic's not get this?
I know. I was just gonna ask the exact same thing. I was like, the perfect person or mascot for Sonic would be Sonic.
Yeah, it's like
maybe that's too literal, and they're
maybe they didn't want to get like brand confusion.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like, what does Sonic have to do with tiny tacos? And like, why not onion rings? Because he's collecting rings,
Oh, true.
Like,
yeah.
It was so random. But yeah, they really like, they love to go over like the PR release for the promotion, or go into just their whole marketing strategy and like think about like, what is this about? And they also go into like facts about the restaurant or whatever. It's interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
It's a fun show. It's a laugh all the way through.
Okay. Cool.
Very neat. What are your latest discoveries in the wide world of entertainment?
Well, we've been watching, I guess, Hoarders, which I've watched in the past, but we've had a revival, I guess. And so we've been watching a lot of that show, and also OC Cleaners, which is called, I think it was like Obsessively Clean Cleaners or something like that, but it's a British version of that. And basically, but that one's a little bit more entertaining in the sense that with that one, okay, well, first let's go back to the Hoarders. So Hoarders, if nobody knows, I'm sure everybody knows, it's been out forever, but it's a reality kind of show where the show goes to a house of a hoarder and helps them mentally repair themselves enough to clean out their house. And it's insane, these houses that people go into and how bad they are. It's disgusting sometimes, and it's heartbreaking sometimes, and there's certain ones that I almost can't even watch. It's so bad. So it's more of like a more serious show, whereas the other one, it takes two OCD people who spend their entire day cleaning their house and re-cleaning their house, and they're like super obsessive about being clean and cleanliness, and then they take them to a hoarder's house and have them stay in the house and clean the house. And they're
God.
Basically, it's like their worst nightmare. But they're self-aware enough to know that they have a problem and that being OCD over cleaning is not, normal. And so they're very like, they're self-aware, and they make fun of it. They have a good attitude about it, I guess is what I'm saying.
So is this like
it's not like torture?
Taking two like mentally
Yes, yeah.
like out of whack people and like putting them into like having them cancel each other out with their
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's what it is.
disorder.
And they're basically at the completely opposite ends of the spectrum of cleanliness. So they both have mental disorders. They both, can't live and enjoy their home, but for two completely different reasons, I guess. So, and then they put them together and they work it out.
And they both go, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah. They try to rationalize with each other, and then they both kind of like see where the other person's coming from, but they both in the end kind of just realize that they both have a problem, and they're just happy to help each other out, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they probably already know they have OCD if they're on a show about
Yeah,
getting a
the
person with
OCD
OCD to
people.
do something.
Yeah, the OCD people are the ones that do know that they have a problem, and they're the ones that are agreeing to go and help the hoarder sort out their life. So yeah, anyway, it's entertaining.
Do you think it's almost enabling in a way? Like it's almost like a sick fantasy for an OCD person to like root out the dirtiest places in the world and make them clean?
Maybe to some extent, but
like they're signing up for it so that they can get into this house and be like, "Oh my god, it's so dirty in here. It's so cathartic to make it clean."
Like their own house is too clean that they need to find.
Yeah, they're like, "I'm out of things to clean."
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure that's part of it. I'm sure they get like some rush out of taking a cluttered place and making it clean. But initially, they're usually full of anxiety. They're like, "Oh my gosh." Like,
well, yeah, it's overwhelming for even like somebody who's not OCD to see like a real hoarder. Like that's sometimes inhuman living conditions.
Exactly. I'm gonna blow my nose really quick so we can cut this out.
I'm not cutting that out.
You better.
You can't stop me.
I get so jealous when I hear some other podcasts because they talk about how they have a producer, and like they have like a company that does all the stuff for them. They just record and send it to them, and they cut out everything, and the producer kind of like puts it all together and
what do you mean you do have that?
It. I mean, it's fine. I don't, but
that's me.
I know, but I'm just saying it'd be nice to have so we wouldn't have to do it. But anyways, I'm grateful for what we have, so it's good to learn the back end anyways. Yeah, so I'm in that weird spot in my sickness that, like, it's at the end, so everything is very sticky, if that makes sense.
Ew.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Sorry.
What specifically is sticky?
Like, my throat, like, it's got that phlegm, so rather than just having a sore throat and not being able to talk, I get like the phlegm where I can't clear it out. And then my nose is very like sticky where I like, before it was super liquidy and I could just blow it and then I would clear it. And now I could blow and blow and blow and it's just like constantly stuck in there. I don't know.
Didn't we recently talk about how nobody needs vaccines? Or not vaccines.
No.
Nobody needs what is it called? A vaccine? Is it a vaccine?
I was gonna say I believe people do need vaccines, but
well, yeah, but we were making fun of flu shots for being pointless.
Oh yeah, well.
And now here you are.
Well, I didn't have the flu. I have a cold.
You have coronavirus?
No, I had a cold. People
oh my god.
Are freaking out though. I will say because I work in healthcare, and so I see sick kids and stuff. Not sick kids, but special needs kids. So some of them are higher risk. So I don't see them when I'm sick. Obviously, I don't see anybody when I'm sick. But even when I'm starting to recover, like I'm not really sick. I just kind of have residual like coughing or whatever. I still can't see those kids because there is still a chance I could spread it, and also it's just not, like, people will not be okay with that, so it sucks because I do miss work because of that, but yes, it's even more, I will just say it is even more sensitive now to get sick because people are a little more hyper aware of the coronavirus. So yeah, they're very, especially because this is a cold, which is a respiratory illness. It resembles coronavirus. So yeah, I've definitely had some comments and gotten looks. So, trying to just recover in peace. But it's definitely just a cold, so. But there have been some talk about the coronavirus. I don't know if how are you freaking out about it, or?
I'm losing my mind. We're
Okay.
actually doing a test tomorrow. I have to work from home because my office is testing out I guess having their employees come into the office in shifts so that not everyone is in the building at the same time, so that theoretically
really?
we wouldn't all get sick if that were the case.
Oh, okay.
They're basically testing out quarantine procedures, which I feel like you'd have to disinfect everything in the whole office like every night.
Yeah, you
I
would,
don't
yeah.
know. That's too much. I don't know. But yeah, I guess also just testing, making sure everyone has their equipment working if they decide to work from home.
Right.
Or what have you.
That makes sense. I mean, I guess it's good to be prepared just in case. But
yeah. We're taking a big hit.
Are you?
Yeah, it's
Or
the travel industry, so nobody's flying
true,
anywhere.
True. Yeah, that is true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, actually, one of my friends posted about that on Facebook and was just asking if anybody has noticed a big, change with traveling, if people do travel, if they noticed it affecting their travel, or if they've noticed things at the airport that have been different. So, yeah, it is affecting things, but so far, it is in the US apparently, but I will say that and this is just my opinion and based on researching stuff and talking to other healthcare professionals and things, but pretty sure that the coronavirus has been around for a really long time and has been in and around all of these countries already.
Well, yeah, there are many kinds of coronavirus.
Yeah, because it's a virus that, if you go to the doctor, if you've ever had a cold or any other kind of virus, usually the doctor won't test you specifically for specific viruses because most viruses are treated the same way. So they'll just say, looks like you have a virus, take care of it this way, go home, rest, stay out of contact with people for a while, or etc. So, it's mostly prevalent now because it's obviously affected China so much, and it is affecting, the US somewhat, and people who are vulnerable or compromised can die from it. It's just like they could die from the flu or anything else. But yeah, I think it's something that the healthcare world is already aware of and already has procedures in place and does their best to help people who get sick. So
I think it's just really stand out because it's one of it has such a high virility, it's very contagious and stuff, and takes a big toll on the people that it infects. So
right,
it has that killing potential.
Very interesting. And again, this could be that because it's not as dangerous to healthy young people, but I don't know. But there have not been any recorded instances of children getting this virus. Nobody under the age of 15 has been reported to have it. So
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So it could be that they are getting it, but they recover so quickly because they're young and healthy. But I'm sure there's kids out there, like the kids I work with, that do have compromised immune systems that could get it and die. But
yeah, I feel like there's at a certain age you would be more likely to not be able to recover from it.
Right. So and because it's a virus, I don't believe there's any vaccines that have been prepared for it. So it's not like, but some people were saying, well, maybe children have been vaccinated for it, so they don't, like maybe a vaccination came out after a certain age, and so those kids aren't getting it. But I don't know that that's possible to vaccinate for something like this. So anyway, especially if they don't have a, what do you call it, cure or medicine really for it. So
yeah, they said they were working on a vaccine for it that'd be ready in, like, I don't know, what they say, like a month or two,
right?
So.
But I'm saying, like, maybe there's one of the other vaccinations that children are getting also, like, does somehow prevent them from getting this. Like, maybe they don't know that it wasn't, like, specifically made for coronavirus, but it was made and it also prevents this for some reason. I don't know. But it is interesting to know that kids don't get it. And I don't know. But if you look at the back of a Lysol, have you ever looked at the back of a Lysol? Have you seen this in the news? I don't know. But I've looked, and on a Lysol can, I have it in my house because I've
Yeah, sometimes I look at the back of it.
Well, it tells you all the things that it kills, that it prevents, and, like, because it says it's like 99.9% of, bacteria and germs and stuff like that. Well, the coronavirus is listed as one of the things that it kills.
Yeah.
So, and the Lysol's been around forever. Not forever, but,
Well, yeah, I mean, the coronavirus isn't anything new. It's like SARS and MRSA and, like, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. So they've known about it, and it's been around, and I don't know.
It's more like coronavirus 19 or whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's gotten a revamp. It's gotten like a little stronger strain going out there somewhere for some reason. So I don't know. But there are a lot of conspiracies about it coming out now, and about how all of these crazy, what do you call it, scares have been coming out around the same time as elections, and certain years, every so many years, there'll be like a medical scare.
Oh, MRSA is Staphylococcus. My apologies.
Well, you're not.
Virologists. Leaving it in.
No!
Do you not have a mute button?
No, I don't know how to mute.
Uh-oh.
How do you mute?
Oh, you gotta set that up on your end. I think I told you, I showed you how to do the keybind one time, so.
Keybind?
Now it's up to you. Yeah, in Discord you can put a keybind. But that's not gonna help when I get the final recording.
I was gonna say, you just have to put up with it. Oh, okay,
right.
I see. Mute. For me, I see how I mute myself on Discord, yeah. I can see that.
I can see that. All right. Well, so was that the interesting thing you had to say? You were like, it seems like you were testing the waters into whether you wanted to go into coronavirus, and then we launched in Mach 10. So, did you want to say what you were considering?
Well, I was talking about Hoarders. Excuse me. Hold on. I'm going to have a coffee fit for a second.
Okay. That's worrying, to say the least. Oh, now she's learned how to mute herself. How about that?
Okay. Hopefully I'm all right.
I'm pretty sure you're not.
I'm recovering, okay? Sorry. I'll do my best to not sound totally crazy. Yeah, but I was talking about Hoarders and the cleaning and I think that got into like the uncleanliness. I don't know how we launched into Corona, to be honest. But the other thing that I've been into is like Disney vlogs. Not vlogs, but like Disney rides and stuff, because I don't know. I don't really know why, but we've just been watching that a little bit. I think we've talked about this before, how as a Floridian, I think you're either pro-Disney or you're not pro-Disney.
It's a very divisive line over here. People.
I wouldn't go as far as say anti-Disney, but you're just like not into it. Or you kind of go through waves where you're into it and then you're not into it. And that's how I am, where sometimes I'm into it and sometimes I'm not into it at all. And so I'm going through like a wave where I'm kind of into Disney. So
there's a schism through Florida, everyone. A sinkhole, you might want to think of it as.
But we've been watching I think it's called the Daily Woo. And there's apparently a big guy, big vlogger that does Disney stuff.
That's your one for today.
Tim, what? Did you call me the Woo?
It's your Daily Woo.
Woo!
Woo!
Anyways, we've been watching some of those. I think his name's Tim Tracker.
Okay.
And obviously my favorite like family on the YouTube space. I have two favorites really, but this one kind of I'm just more connected with. So They're called the Devines, and it's Haley and Brad Devine, and they have 2 little girls. But anyway, they live in Utah, but they got invited to go to Disney, and they went there for a week, and they got to stay in the brand new resort, the Riviera Resort, I think is what it's called. And they got to go to all the parks and go to all the, rides, and they got to go on a Disney cruise. So yay!
Wow, that's pretty legit.
Yeah, so they recorded all of that, and so I was watching some of their stuff. And then the Bucket List family, I think they're a bit more well known. They're kind of more YouTube famous. And they're really awesome too. I mean, I like them too, but I just don't watch them as often. But they also got to go and do the same things. So I watched some of their stuff too. But it's really interesting perspective to see through the eyes of other people, especially people who don't live here.
Well, we get a lot of that around Florida.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people coming in and seeing the sights and stuff.
But there was a new ride that was opened, which is why I was watching it. Anyway. You were watching what?
What's the new ride?
Oh, I think it's called, I don't remember. It's called something like Minnie and Mickey's Adventure or something.
I feel like you just made up if you had to on the spot make up a Disney ride, that's it.
No, I'm sorry. It's called Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway. And it's where the Great Movie Ride used to be.
Okay. I thought they were turning that into Toy Story Land or something.
They put that somewhere else, I think, because they do have a Toy Story area already.
Well, that's fascinating. I've had some people just visit from other countries and stuff to my work, and they were always asking is there stuff to do around here? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like the place to do stuff. But at the same time, it's almost but not really. I feel like you almost want to be a middle-aged person with kids to enjoy a lot of the classic Florida stuff. I know a lot of other kind of cooler places that locals would hang out at more. But more the touristy stuff is family friendly and all that sort of stuff.
And also, one thing I don't like about Orlando and Central Florida, and where I live, I feel like it's obviously it's a lot geared towards theme parks and attractions and things like that, very touristy stuff. And I just wish there was something that was cool and interesting and fun to do that didn't involve 1,000 people in one space and wasn't so expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But was still interesting and fun that you could do that doesn't involve clubbing, or something like that. I don't know.
You're either consuming alcohol or you're spending a ton of money on International Drive, or you're doing both at the same time.
Or you're doing it all. Exactly. So, yeah. I guess that's one reason why I do enjoy having an annual pass to Disney, even though I feel kind of weird about it. But
why do you feel weird about it?
Because I feel like
you're selling out, Lisa. You're giving your hard-earned books right back to the mouse.
Exactly. I feel like I'm giving it all away to the man. He charges too much, and it is a lot of money up front. And it's when you do it, you're like, oh, is this even going to be worth it? Is it I don't know. You feel like you're wasting money at first, but now this is the first year I've ever done it. So, but it's kind of nice to know that you could just go and then not have to spend the entire day at the park and then you could leave and you don't feel like you've completely wasted a ton of money.
Yeah.
It's not like you're paying just to go for a day, and you don't get to do hardly anything in one day because there's so many people. The lines these days are so long, and you could only get fast passes to 3 rides. So yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that's the crux of every theme park visit that you're going to do is you're paying a ton of money, so basically you have to make your day miserable to have fun. You have to try and pack in so much that you end up being all right, that was too much, and now I kind of regret it a little bit.
It was too much, but it also wasn't enough. It's you're overwhelmed by the end of it, and you're tired, and you just want to go home. But then you also kind of feel like you didn't really do that much. You just walked around and stood in line all day.
Yeah, you can easily come up with a really long list of things, rides and stuff that you want to try, and you'll get halfway through them and be totally exhausted and have spent 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. like just walking and standing in line and doing that half the list. And you're like, wow, I only got through like half of my things and I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm dead. I'm tired, especially when it's hot and disgusting out, which is starting to get more and more. So the annual pass is nice because I could just go out there. Not that I've ever done this, but I could go out there, go somewhere. I could just go and eat somewhere, or just go and walk around if I want, or just go and ride one ride and then leave.
Yeah.
And then I don't feel like I just wasted a ton of money just to do one thing. I don't know.
I feel like Epcot is that place that makes me feel like, well, great. Like every time I go there, because they have like a lot of interesting like foods and restaurants and stuff there. And so like every time I find something that I like, it's like, okay, so I'm going to pay like what, $200 to come get that thing like next time.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And it does stink because, again, if you pay just to go, sorry, I bumped it. If you pay just to go, you also, when you go to eat the food or anything else, it's so expensive. Everything you buy there is so expensive.
Yeah, even when you have, like, even when you're thinking of, like, oh, I've gotten in today for free, you're still spending, like, a whole bunch of money if you're getting any kind of, like, consumables.
Right. I mean, and even for pass holders, it's expensive, but you at least get discounts on certain things. Like, if you go and eat at a sit-down restaurant, you get a discount. If you buy merchandise, you get a discount. So there's some there's something there at least. But yeah, I don't know. What's nice about Disney though is you can bring in, they'll let you bring your own food and your own drinks and stuff in, so you don't have to buy stuff.
It'd be highway robbery if they made you go in there and buy that food.
True. So,
it's like, oh, I'm spending $15 for like a roll of sushi. Cool.
Yeah, but the worst thing about it for me is standing in line and walking around and standing around and like not really actually doing anything. You're just around a lot of people in an atmosphere that's nice because it's Disney and Disney's top of the line. Everything's cool. But
they are pretty good experiences when you finally reach the end of the line.
Right. Yeah, but then of course it goes by so fast and you're like, oh, I want to do that again, but I don't want to wait.
Get back in line, sucker. Universal had that with the Dueling Dragons. It was a pretty good system where you could like re-queue immediately, like, and you get like in the middle of the line if you do that. So if you all you wanted to do was like ride Dueling Dragons, you could just like ride in circles.
That's awesome.
They have single rider lines if you're that kind of person, and if you like roller coasters. There's not a lot of options to get ahead of the line for the other ones.
True.
I've noticed that like non-Floridians do not understand FastPass.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of the people I've like, even in like movies and stuff that I've heard, and like when I've talked to people, they talk about FastPass like it's this thing that they get it and then they don't have to wait in lines as much. And I'm like, I don't think you understand this system and like how it works.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to wait in line. It's just
and there's also like you get a FastPass for like a time slot for like a certain thing.
Yeah,
like it seems like
that. Some of them do that.
Yeah, like people want to like show up to Disney and be like, I'll take the fast pass, please. And they're like at the ticket booth, and they're like, that
doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, that does stink that you can only get 3 per. I think I don't know if you could only get 3 per day or.
Yeah, they changed that recently. You used to be able to get like however many you wanted, but it was just logistically like keeping track of it because it's all like slot based. So if you say like, oh, I'm going to get a fast pass for Tower of Terror, you have to go to the machine. You got to swipe your card. You got to get the thing. It'll tell you what your time slot is and when you can come back and like basically get like a jump in on the line.
Right. And then if you miss it, then you have to start all over again.
Yeah. And now you're even limited to the 3, right? So. Right.
And even the last time we went, the last fast pass ride that we went and it was closed. So we didn't even get to ride it. So.
Oh my God.
I know.
You should get a reimbursement. You should get double fast passes the next time you come.
Yeah, we should, but they don't do that. So.
It's always great when you're like, I deserve this. And it's like, yes, but no.
Yeah, they're like, imagine if this is some things that I think about. And because I don't like to take things for granted. Like the fact that I live in Orlando, that I have easy access, that all of that. But I think about people who rearrange their whole lives to travel here from, let's say, a different country or even a different state. They've been planning this for however long, months maybe. They get here, they go, and then like the ride that they want to ride, they only have enough tickets to go for, a couple days, and they're going to this park this day, this park this day, this park this day. It's not like they could go back to the same park. But the ride that they want to go on, that they came all the way here for, is closed, or like they can't go at that time, or like something happens. I would feel so bad for them. Like, it just hurts.
What do you do? Yeah, it's like
about.
Logistically though, the rides can't all be up 100% of the time, and there are those people. So,
well, I did hear about see, I've never ridden the Pandora ride because it's always so full. Is it called the Banshee? See, I
think so. It's I think it's Flight of the Banshee or something.
Flight of the Navigate? No, wait, that's something different.
It's starting to get like a lower wait time, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you should know. You did like the plans for it, didn't you?
I didn't. I don't currently run the wait times, but I did get a sneak preview for working on it, so I got to ride it with low wait times. Haha.
I know, like that's so cool. Because I was hearing this from our father and our stepmother who came for dinner the other night, and they were telling me that people were waiting in line for like 3 hours for this ride, and then the ride shut down.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get it back running because it was something to do with the fire alarms or whatever, or the fire
Somebody
system.
pulled the fire alarm.
No.
That's nasty.
Like there was something that happened where the people who installed the HVAC system or whatever, not HVAC, but no,
that
not
was
HVAC.
me.
No, not that. It was something to do with fire.
Okay.
The only thing they didn't do was they didn't secure one of the holes in the box on the roof, and so there was a storm and water had gotten into it and shorted it out, just because like that one little hole wasn't covered properly. So it shut the whole ride down. And so all of those people, and it was near the end of the day, so like all of those people that had been waiting for that long couldn't go on the ride.
Oh,
and I would be just devastated. Like if it were me, I mean, they did comp them like free fast passes or whatever for like if they wanted to come back the next day. And I don't know if they actually gave them free tickets to come back or something. They did give them something for it, but still, I mean, what if you can't come back? What if,
Let me give some props to Busch Gardens real quick.
Sure.
One time we went there, and like literally while they were shooing people out of the park, like they were like, all right, people were closing, get out. They had this new ride that they had just opened at the time. It's now been open for some time. It's called Cheetah, and it's a really long ride that goes around like the entire park. It's pretty cool.
Did you ride it?
They had just opened that ride, and the wait times were crazy. They were like 3 hours plus, and they were shooing everyone out of the park. And I mean, we just like had made the trip out to Tampa, and we were planning to just stay. So we were like, hey, what the heck? Let's just get in this line, because the line was still there. There was nobody like capping it or anything. And they were literally like, while they're trying to get people out of the park, we just like got in line and we waited, and they got everyone through that line. We were there for like 4 hours past the close of the park. And they let every single person ride that ride. And it was awesome, because when I got to ride it finally, we were the last ones in line. So we got to ride it when it was like totally pitch black. Like it was nighttime. And we were like zipping around. It goes around the whole like perimeter of the park and does like all these loop-de-loops and everything. It was awesome.
How cool. That's so nice that they did that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Say, hey, everybody at this point back, you have to leave.
Yeah, if I worked that ride, I'd be like, nuh-uh.
I know, right?
The
worker was probably like, okay, I guess I'm working 4 hours overtime tonight. They might plan for that though. They might say,
yeah,
we actually close at this time, but we want everybody out of the park by this time. Or
yeah, and it's a new ride, so like there were several times where they were like, oh, the ride went down. We're gonna try and get it back up, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
And you were just kind of like, well, I mean, we got nothing to lose. We're just chilling.
That's true.
Park's closed now, so we're like already got our money's worth.
Yeah. Busch Gardens, I will say, is one of my favorite parks. They have so many things there, like so many cool, good rides, and if you're into rides, it's the place to go. I think. I
can vouch for Cheetah.
I went there all by myself because I hadn't been in so long. Well, not too. I definitely did not have friends. Nobody would go with me. Okay. And
Oh.
I hadn't been in a really long time, and I just really wanted to go, and nobody was available, nobody could go, or nobody wanted to go, or wanted to spend the money. So
It's
I was
messed up.
like, I'm just gonna go then, because I really want to go. So I remember I went by myself and like rode all the rides and everything, and it was so much fun. But they didn't have Cheetah then, so I've never ridden that ride. But I did see it on YouTube, because you could see everything there, and it did look cool. One thing that was interesting to me, and I don't know if it was on that particular episode, but they were talking about how there's some roller coasters that have, if you look over to the side where there's like a ledge or something, there will always be like a ton of hair ties, like girls' hair ties, and they'll just be piled
I
up.
wonder why that is.
And nobody knows where it started from, why people do it. Nobody knows. Like, I couldn't find anywhere on the internet where they could tell me what the deal is with that. It's just like everybody just keeps noticing it. And nobody's actually says anywhere that they have done it. So it's just there.
I assume they just fly off there a lot, and then...
No, because there's for example, we did notice it at the Everest ride at Disney and Animal Kingdom, and it's at a part where you're not moving. It's at a part where you're still, so it's not, and there's just no way that it would just fall off of your head unless it fell off from a different point and fell there somehow. But
I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know. It's so strange. But
I guess
if
people see it and then they take their hair tie out and go, well, I'm going to leave mine.
Yeah, but then you don't have a hair tie and your hair's all in your face.
I mean, it could just have an extra on their wrist or something.
True. Yeah, so if anybody knows what that's about, let us know, because I'm curious.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. What is with the hair ties on roller coasters?
You know, one time, my girlfriend Lervin and I were going on Shikra, which has a 90-degree drop. She's not like 90-degree drops. So she was pretty anxious about the situation. And like while we're ratcheting up the side of it, she's like all worked up. They stopped, like, you know how it stops at like the apex and they like wait for the like car before us to go?
Yeah.
There was like a swarm of wasps up there. Like there was just like a wasp nest. Like they had like started congregating there. And like at the top of this like exhilarating ride, you're like really worried that you're about to get stung by a wasp, and you're like locked into this thing that's like ratcheting you towards the cloud of wasps.
I'm surprised that happened. Honestly.
And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm gonna either die from falling off this roller coaster or for wasp stings. I was surprised that they would do that, honestly.
Yeah, it was unreal. When we got off, we're like, you know, there's wasps up there, right? And they're like, oh yeah, that happens.
What? Oh my gosh. No, yeah. They would shut it down and get those wasps out of there.
To be continued.
Not goodbye. Remember our old tune. Be back soon.
Somebody out there thinks you're awesome, and that's me.
I love you. Bye-bye.